Today is January 10th, 2022. My name is Charles Suter. Today I'm presenting part 18 of my series, The Rational Mind, A Guide to Rational Living. This presentation is focused on decision trade-offs. You may not know what I mean by trade-offs, but by the time of this, you listen to this presentation, you'll know very well. My main message: rational decisions are based on tough trade-offs. And when I say trade-offs, it's usually between rewards and costs. You want to get the right balance. Human wants and needs are inherently conflictual because there's no such thing as a free lunch. So if a person wants something, they must work for it and give up some choices that are mutually exclusive. By mutually exclusive, I mean choosing one option or alternative precludes another. For instance, you're going to go on a vacation with a choice between the beach and the mountains. You can't pick both unless somehow you can work that out. Most often you'll have to pick either the beach or the mountains. While there are no perfect choices with only advantages and disadvantages, choices can be maximized and optimized, but never without some sacrifice and cost. For any choice, you must balance what you expect to get with what you expect to give up in return. To gain any reward, you must give up something less valuable in return for what you get. There's always a price to be paid for any gain. Proposition 1. There is a price to be paid for anything you want and don't have. For example, you must work for what you want. There is no such thing as a free lunch. All choices have consequences associated with them, such as it's going to take up your time and energy, there will be a cost, and there might very well be a risk involved in that particular choice. Rewards are what you seek, and costs are what you must pay to get them. A rationalist acknowledges that costs associated with the goals he seeks may be outside the bounds of what he's willing to pay for them. However, once a rationalist has identified a desirable goal, his yes or no decision often depends upon whether he's willing to pay the price demanded of his goal. He makes an effort to correctly estimate the cost of each choice in advance and then assesses whether he's willing to pay that price to get the expected reward or benefits from that choice. He tends not to overestimate his willingness to actually pay the price or work to get what he wants. In other words, he's a realist. Due to a rational assessment of the effort and resource involved in creating any result he wants, a rationalist actually follows through on his decisions, whereas too many non-rationalists make ambitious and grandiose plans but never follow through because they fail to give adequate consideration to the cost of implementation. Proposition 2. As we've said before, whatever you want, you must trade something of value in return. What is your most common but valuable asset? Time. Time is your most valuable asset, so spend it wisely in the pursuit of your values. You must be willing to trade your time, what you have, in order to get what you don't have. Many people ignore the hidden variable in making decisions, and that's the discomfort of leaving their comfort zone. And that is the price that must be paid for change, especially a change outside the comfort zone. Most people accept the notion that they cannot be, do, or have everything. One has to make choices as to what to keep and what to trade for something they don't have that is more valuable. Every choice has some advantages and some disadvantages associated with it. All choices have real consequences. Every choice offers to satisfy some wants or needs, but they all come at some cost, including the physical and mental effort required to implement each choice. To achieve any goal, some price must be paid in terms of time spent, resources and effort expended, risks taken, and aggravation suffered when things don't go right. Many choices are risky because outcomes are uncertain, because not every choice works out as planned. Many choices possess unpredictable, unintended, and unwanted consequences which often scares people even from ever attempting them. Proposition 3. For anything you want, you must try to balance the benefits with the costs. Your goal, of course, is always to maximize benefits and minimize costs. But you must realize that the more rewards you expect to gain, there's going to be more expected costs. To make wise decisions, know your willingness to pay to get what you want. Don't get in the middle of your project and then decide the price is too high. Good choices are reflected by its immediate execution without procrastination. In other words, if you've picked a good goal with your willingness to pay the price, you won't be procrastinating. You'll be implementing that choice right away. Everyone seeks high reward options, but these options tend to have commensurately high costs in terms of the work or resources demanded to acquire them. The non-rationalists are drawn to high reward options, but also repelled by the high cost. Quite often, a non-rationalist will pick an ambitious goal with a distorted perception of the actual cost implemented. Then when it comes time to start the journey, he stalls because subconsciously the price suddenly is too high, or he loses his nerve due to a lack of self-confidence. The most common error in picking goals is the lack of consideration for the discomfort of leaving one's comfort zone and its discouraging impact on one's motivation to implement his desires. On the other hand, a rationalist seeks the right balance between rewards and costs to ensure that he's both capable and willing to go the distance, all the way to the end. Now, my final message: good decisions are based on trade-offs between costs and benefits. Almost every choice you have has some balance between costs and benefits. A rational person knows that he can't do, be, or have everything, so he chooses those options potentially offering him his highest aspirations at the least cost. In return for what he wants, a rationalist is cognizant of and willing to trade his time, resources, energy in a fair trade, including the discomfort of leaving his comfort zone during the pursuit of his goal. The ultimate trade-off is your time for your life. What are you trading your life for? Are you getting your money's worth on how you spend your time? If not, then you need to reconsider how you are spending your limited time allocated to the life that you have. To accomplish anything of consequence, you must be willing to trade part of your life for it. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive, you'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.